What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Good Old Hockey Podcast. This is episode number 31. We've been grinding the past couple weeks with the playoffs, but we're finally seeing some series being over. I think we've had I feel like it's been 3 episodes out now since playoffs has started. No eliminations yet, but now we've got 3 that we'll get into, and then also some other series lighting up. We're recording this on Tuesday. By the time this comes to you guys, we don't know if Colorado is going to advance. We don't know if Vancouver is going to advance, and we don't know if Edmonton is going to advance. So,
please, Winnipeg, pull it together. I have Winnipeg winning the bracket, so
you need them. Yeah,
it was pretty dicey to make them win. I thought it was going to be their year, especially if they can beat the Avalanche. So, really hoping they win tonight.
Yeah, we'll see. Last time I checked, they were up 2-1. We'll keep checking.
They're down 2-3 right now.
Oh, 2-3. Okay. Oh boy. Well, not good for them. But game's not over yet, so we shall see. But that being said, how was your week? I know you had another crazy one with moving. Everything like that. How's that been?
Just I'm kind of past the moving stage right now, and more just cleaning crazy phase.
Yep.
Trying to struggle to get our security deposit back, which we probably won't get a lot of it back, but I'm hoping more than half of it we get back. That would be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Or even more. But my dad's also in town, so he's helping us move some things and get set up.
Yeah.
As you can see, my wall is still not set up. This will be set up one day. And there's going to be a bunch of cool stuff. Bunch of cool posters, memorabilia, maybe a jersey, all sorts of cool shit right there too. So still haven't really set up this room. I'm specifically making it like an office and a podcast room. So I'm super stoked on that. But besides that, work's been grinding, both jobs. So how have you been though, man?
Pretty good. Stressful week as always, it feels like. Now that being an adult is a thing. Hasn't been, I don't know. Nothing crazy. The weekend was fun. Went out to Meridian, to bars out there. Crazy place. Crazy people there. Some lady was talking about the government conspiracies and something about Michael Jackson. I don't know. But it was just a lot of randomness. But there was a lot of hockey to be watched and a lot of hockey watched done by me. But
dude, Meridian bars are you get the most interesting creatures in the Treasure Valley there.
Downtown Boise, it's a little odd. There's some people there.
Not as much
Meridian.
as Meridian. The past, I used to live in Meridian, so I used to go downtown Meridian a lot. But past few times I've gone out, especially recently, there's been insane amounts of cops and just crazy things that have happened. Man, downtown Meridian, we got to hit that up. We should do a vlog one of these times.
Oh my god, dude.
hit up off the clock.
Yeah. That would we'll see. But that'd be fun. But we had some of the games this weekend. Well, let's just fill everyone in on the series if you're not already aware. It's kind of tough because a lot of these series might be over, might be not. But the most notable one just happened tonight is the Toronto Maple Leafs coming back. We also had the Stars tying the series back up again. A couple 3-1 leads from, let's read it out loud. Before we get into it, we'll just give you guys a breakdown of everything. So far, Rangers swept, Carolina up 4-1, Edmonton 3-1 right now, Vancouver 3-1 right now as we're speaking, Colorado 3-1 as we're speaking, and Dallas and Knights are still tied as we're speaking. But we're going to get into some of the teams that got knocked off, talk about those series, and give a little, series MVP and maybe a little ghost to the series who just disappeared in the playoffs. First one, Rangers Capital sweep, 4-game series. We haven't really talked about this series a whole lot because there hasn't been a lot to talk about other than dominance by the Rangers. The Caps haven't really been able to compete with them. We kind of called this, I feel like, we said maybe 5 games if, you could give Washington a game here and there. But, cheers to you guys, Washington, for coming out to play. Good job making the playoffs. But I think we could have all seen this coming. Now, I don't know that any other team that were hunting for the playoff spot would have done much different. I feel like some of the other teams might have put up a fight, but is what it is. Capitals squeaked in. I wanted to see Detroit there because I feel like they could have put up some sort of fight, but
yeah, and like I feel like the Rangers showed how good of a team they have in this series. That they're I mean, I wouldn't say the team to beat necessarily yet in the East. I feel like the Panthers kind of are right now.
Yeah.
The Rangers could be up there though.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very interesting to see how they do in the second round because they had a pretty easy matchup this first round. I mean, sweeping the Capitals, they barely squeaked in. Yeah, and like I totally agree. Like, I mean, the Penguins, Wings, and Flyers were all very much on the cusp of making that last wild card spot. And I just wonder, like, would one of those teams at least have won a game? Like, I feel like the Pens could have probably squeaked out a game. Maybe even the Flyers.
Red Wings,
I mean, I feel like all those teams, like, but also I could be mistaken because it's kind of an interesting way the Caps got in. It was like more about just points and kind of, I mean, more or less, like I feel like all those teams were very, very neck and neck towards the end of the season, and it kind of just came down to like points wise and head to heads and really how they finished the season. But yeah, dude, I agree. The Wings or Pens, I think, but even the Flyers too. I mean, but the Flyers are playing shitty hockey at the end of the year. But I mean, at least the Pens and the Wings, I feel like we're playing pretty good hockey. I think they could have at least given a better fight against the Rangers.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, who would you pick for the series MVP?
I would give it to. I mean, it's kind of a toss up. I wanted to give it to Panarin, but I don't know. I feel like Shesterkin is well deserving of it. 4 wins, great save percentage. How many goals against did he have all series?
Dude, he had like seven goals against the whole series in 4 games, which is pretty damn good. Not saying the Capitals are a very, very high scoring team whatsoever, but you need a good goalie to win games, and he definitely proved that he's that goalie at least against a second wild card team. But something that was very interesting, I know we're kind of given an MVP and a ghost of each of the series. Alex Ovechkin went pointless. He didn't score a goal. He didn't even score an assist, that's not what you want out of your, I mean, most legendary Capitals player of all time.
Yeah.
It kind of worries me because it's like, dude, he had kind of a resurgence during the season, but then, I mean, gets in the playoffs and it goes ghost mode. So I think that was very interesting. And, he definitely wins that award. I know it's been a headline all over the place, but yeah, man, poor Ovi. Hopefully he can get in the playoffs and show what he's worth again.
I know. I do feel for him. I mean, it happens time to time. He's also at an older age. And like you said, like he had not a rough season. He had a slow start, good second half, but at his age, I can't really say a whole lot. I don't, when I'm 38, there's no way I'm going to be able to play hockey like he does. So I don't know. Even at 24, I can't do it. So I don't know. I get it. I don't know. I really couldn't put a finger on what happened. I mean, I didn't really watch that series a whole lot. I kind of figured it was going to happen. But yeah, Ovi going pointless was, I don't know, shocking to me.
Yeah, that is shocking because he's pretty damn good in the playoffs. I'd want to say he's like a point per game in the playoffs. So, I mean, especially during that cup run in 2018, he was by far one of the best players on that team. At least goal production. Like I could see him not scoring any assists, but to get 0 goals, it's like, damn, what's going on?
Happening?
Maybe it's just the people around him, though. I mean, he might just need that. He might need Kuznetsov, or his Alexander Semin.
Yeah, Kuznetsov had a great night tonight. So I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I don't think his supporting cast is the greatest. I don't think that team is the greatest, and as much as personal accolades aside, you have to have a good team around you to do anything. You could be the best player. You could be Connor McDavid, but if you put him on the Capitals, probably just as good as he's going to do on the Oilers. Like, being honest. But It's not like he has a great supporting cast, but he at least has someone else.
Wait, so you're saying Ovi to the Oilers?
No. That would actually be funny to watch.
That would be
cool.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Dude.
I want him to get that goal record as a Capital, though. I feel like it just fits him and who he is. But enough about the Rangers and Capitals. I'm looking forward to the second series, though, that they're going to be playing the Hurricanes, which we'll get into next. But next one, Panthers Lightning, the second team to advance. Panthers win in 5, a good old-fashioned gentleman's sweep. Give the Lightning a little taste of victory, game 4, and then just pummel them in game 5. I think they beat them like 6-1. It was very close. I thought that series was pretty good by Tampa. Florida just had the benefit of being Florida, and they're able to close it out in clutch moments and win those close games. They have a great goalie. Bobrovsky, again, I'll say it again. He's going to carry them onto the next series, whoever they play. We don't know yet. I want to say I felt like it went by pretty quick. I didn't think the Panthers were going to win in 5. I thought maybe give the Lightning another game. I definitely didn't think they were going to go up 3-0. But Tampa tried their best. Boo-hoo. You get a little, what's it called? Participation trophy. The Panthers are a good team, and not that Tampa's a bad team, but I think they're slowly falling out. And they had their great runs, and it's going to be a rebuild soon for them.
Yeah, I think I think they could do some retooling and keep their main core, because they still got Braden Point, they still got Kucherov, who is one of the best players in the league. They got Hedman, they got Vasilevsky. So they have a really good core. I just think that their depth in their previous years was way better than it is this year.
That's true.
Like, their depth just is not as good. They don't have that Killorn. They don't. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on their cup runs right now. But there's a lot of players like Alexander Killorn that were big parts of those Stanley Cup runs, and just for showing like how good with Tampa was in those previous years. But I did expect them to at least give up a little bit more of a fight, especially with Vasilevsky in net. I feel like if you have that guy in net, any team could go far. But it just showed the Panthers are right back where they were last year. I feel like they were surprised last year, but this year, like I said, they're kind of the team to beat in the Eastern Conference. I don't think people really saw that going into the playoffs, but I think after round 1, it's like, oh shit, they're for real. They're back, and they got Kachuk, Barkov, Tarasenko, motherfucking Reinhart. Ekblad, Bobrovsky. They have a stacked roster right now. So, very surprising that they won in 5 games. I thought it was at least going to go to 6. But the Lightning did keep it close the first 2 games, so I'll give that to them. But they really showed that just, I'd say that gap in skill those teams have in the past 2 games. So
I agree. We'll move on. But before that, we'll give out our series MVP and ghost of the series. I would honestly give it to my man, and your man, technically, or used to be, Matthew Tkachuk. Unbelievable again in the playoffs. He's turning it on. He didn't have a super crazy regular season. He didn't, last year he cracked, I want to say like almost 120 points. He had a lot of points last year. He was, I want to say, 3rd in MVP voting last year. But he didn't have a crazy regular season, and obviously he had a crazy playoffs. But it seems like he's, coming back into his form where he shines the best and brightest. 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points. Great.
I will say, he had an 88-point season this year.
Yeah, which is not bad. No,
that's very, very good.
It is, but it's like it's from the year before. Yeah,
and he had 99-point seasons with the Flames and stuff. But Matthew Tkachuk, I really, really do enjoy watching him. And it still hits the heart pretty hard that he's not on the Flames. And big fuck you to Brad Treliving for kind of making that mess, because that kind of started off, and we are all seeing what he's doing with the Leafs right now.
Yeah.
But I know I touched on this before. I can give out the ghost of the series, I guess we could call Andre Vasilevsky. I don't think he showed his peak performance of what he usually is in the playoffs as a goaltender. I mean, 897 save percentage and 16 goals against all series. I mean, that's like, I want to say 3 to 4 goals average a game. So I think he could have played a lot better. I think we kind of saw him fall apart the last 2 games too, especially. So, that was just kind of a crappy series for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So,
yeah. Overall, I mean, I don't know. I think it's just truly just how dominant Florida was. Like, there's not really much that I could say that the Lightning did poorly because they did keep it close. But I mean, Carter Verhaeghe with that overtime goal, that's a game that could swing either. Like, a lot of those games could swing either way. But Florida has the tools to get it done, and the Tampa Bay Lightning don't. That's what that series took. We'll see who they play next round. I'd honestly be excited for either team. I think Boston. We'll see if Boston gives up this 3-1 lead again, which would be hilarious.
Against the Leafs too.
Yeah, against the Leafs too, of all teams. Like, that's the Panthers. It's one thing. It's like, oh, they're the Panthers or whatever. They had a hot goalie, but we'll get into that later. I'll pause myself. I was going to get into it, but I won't. Carolina and Islanders. Again, Carolina up 4-1. They closed out the series. Good for them tonight. It was a low-scoring series. Not that it was a snooze fest, but I don't care to watch the Islanders hockey ever. But Carolina looked honestly pretty good. And again, this is another series where we kind of called 5 games. Quick series.
I think everyone saw Carolina winning this. I think this was very similar to the Rangers and Hurricanes. It was like, these are kind of pushover teams in a way that they were playing. I mean, the Isles a little bit better than the Capitals, obviously, but there's no like superstars on the Islanders necessarily. So I think everyone at least, I think everyone at least saw them winning it within 6 games at most. But yeah, man, there was some good goaltending. I didn't watch the series too much because this was right around the time I would be getting off of work and driving to Meridian and cleaning my house. So I didn't watch too much of the series, but just looking at the stats and some really good goaltending. I mean, even Varlamov, who was their backup goalie throughout the year, he had like a .930 save percentage and 2.08 goals against, which losing a series and having a .930 save percentage,
it's
this
tough.
guy's standing on his head. So I mean, props to Varlamov. I think the Islanders are going to do really good for seasons to come under Patrick Waugh. So excited to see what that retooling of this roster, because I feel like they're gonna do some things in the off season.
Yeah, I agree. I think we'll see a new team, and Patrick Waugh, great head coach, and I think as much shit as I give them, they have a good future ahead of them. Kind of shitty situation, just with how they even squeaked into the playoffs when they weren't really alive the entire season, and kind of turned it around towards the end when you needed it. But series MVP, we're going to give it to Seth Jarvis. 3 goals, 4 assists. From what I've seen of this guy on social media, he's a hilarious guy, and I think he's got a great personality. But aside from that, he's also a beast on the ice. So we're going to give him series MVP. Do you have a ghost for this series?
Yeah, Seth Jarvis he's young too. He's like a 2002. I want to say he's like 22 years old. So damn, man. I mean, he lit it up this series. 7 points in those 5 games. I mean, obviously it was a low scoring series, but in a low scoring series to score 3 goals against that good of a goalie, that shows a lot. I mean, I think it was really close for me to give it to Freddie Anderson too, because he also stood on his head, persevered. I mean, even Varlamov. I mean, I think he would make a pretty good argument for the series MVP, because I mean, he kept the Islanders at least in the games. I feel like this could have been a snooze fest blowout like those Capitals games, but feel like something with the Islanders, they always have these fucking goalies that are just gritty and good, man. But for my ghost of the series, I'd probably say Bo Horvat. Oh my God, I can't speak right now. But I know he came over in a trade from Vancouver, but he went 3 games pointless in this series. And I just feel like, you're one of the best players on the Islanders. You can't go pointless, or else you're gonna be losing that series. So unfortunate for the Islanders, but I think the proof was in the pudding, and I think a lot of people saw it coming. So
yeah, I do too. Well, that wraps up for all the teams that are, goodbye on the links in Cancun, having a fun vacation. Yeah.
I think we do have a matchup set up though. Carolina and New York Rangers are going to be playing against each other, which I think before the second round, we're going to get into some predictions and whatnot.
We'll do that again. Yeah.
But that series is going to be good. I'm excited for that series.
I'm too.
Going to be a really freaking good series.
Yeah, because both of those teams have been able to like kind of not warm up, but essentially warm up against these teams and just pump them. And now they're going to be fighting for that. I think that'll be a good series.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting I guess they'll probably wait for these other series to end.
Yeah.
Because they could start probably this weekend, but I doubt at least the Eastern Conference games are going to. But yeah, man, that's Carolina and New York. I'm excited for that series.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be some good hockey there. But yeah, we can get into the
100%.
rest of the banter and Leafs bagging.
Yeah, let's do it. It's time. Boston and Toronto. Honestly, before today's game, I was going to get into it with Austin Matthews, and he missed tonight's game. But you know what? The Leafs did it without him. And I'm not in the NHL, so I'm not going to bash a man for sitting out. I don't know what his injury is. They're not going to tell us until after the playoffs, probably. But I would hope that he's going to miss a couple more games, because if he comes back next game, it's like, dude, this is a do or die game. You can't just sit out a game to feel like it's got to be some longer term injury. I'm not hoping that it is, but I would assume that it's going to be a longer term injury, because there's no way that you miss out on a 3-1 game, which 3-1 leads are very easy. Like, it happens all the time in the first round. These 3-1 leads that are blown. Boston was won last year, and they can do it again.
So what exactly happened with Austin Matthews? Because I did see that today, and I was like, I didn't really look into it too much. I know we were talking about it a little bit, but like, was there anything about his specific injury?
They didn't disclose it, but last game he went out at the end of the second, like the third period he missed of not game 5. He missed game 4, the last period. Don't know why he sat out. Obviously in that game 2, we had all that stuff on the bench that we saw, which we'll get into in a second. But for him, Austin, I don't really know what exactly. I don't think they're going to disclose it. It's one of those hidden things. But in the playoffs, man, like, this is NHL hockey, dude. You got to suck it up. You got to.
Yeah. I feel like it's had to be something serious.
It has to be.
I feel like, he's a gamer. He's competitive. I feel like eventually it will come out. But, I mean, if he misses next game, that's going to be a tough blow. I mean, if he's out for the rest of the series, that's going to be a tough blow for the Leafs.
It is.
Which is kind of crazy. This is the last series alive in the East. The Eastern Conference series could have all ended tonight.
That is true.
Which is kind of crazy. So I'm glad we still got one. We still got Boston to Toronto, and I hope this goes to 7. That would be so awesome if this goes to 7.
Yeah.
Toronto is able to tie it back up, go to 7. I would be happy. I also have Toronto advancing.
I do too. Yeah.
I really thought that they were gonna pull it together this series a little bit more.
Still could happen.
But yeah, man, I feel like before tonight's game, which showed a lot about the Leafs. I feel like the Leafs are in a good position. They kind of have momentum going back home. They kind of are like the underdog in this situation. Everyone's counting them out, I feel like, especially without their best player. But I mean, before this game, I thought this was going to be the end of the Leafs, the Leafs core. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see if they do win this series, because I think if they lose this series, there's going to be a fire sale in Toronto.
Yeah, we can get into that in a second. First thing I want to say is about the little bench thing that we saw before game 4. In game 4, there was some words being exchanged from William Nylander and I want to say Mitch Marner. Mitch Marner like throws his gloves and Nylander's like, bro, stop crying. This isn't junior hockey or something like that. And I don't know, people take that and are like, oh my gosh, like the Leafs bench, like it's chaos. But I mean, if you've ever played competitively, you know that shit just happens sometimes, and you get in arguments with people, you get in arguments with your own friends. Like it's not a sign of, the crumble in Toronto. I don't think it's over for them yet. I mean, tonight,
yeah, I don't think the series is.
Yeah, no, not at all. I will say though, tonight, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of offense from Toronto. They had 2 goals, and there wasn't a lot of offense from Boston, and that was, I think, a big part. Wait, hold on. How was I going to say that? That was a big part oh my God, I can't form a sentence. That Boston not having a lot of offense, I think, is because of Wall, their goalie that they started tonight.
Yeah.
Dude, he had a great game.
Wall was a wall.
Saves. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Wall was a wall. I mean, 27 saves against 28 shots.
Yeah.
Especially against a pretty good team like Boston. I think he should have got the first star. I see like 3 stars of the game. Matthew Nyes got that first star, but I feel like Wall should have got that first star. And it's gonna be pretty awesome.
Matthew Nyes scored the OT goal, so they're gonna give it to him.
Yeah. But man, it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how he plays the rest of the series, if Boston's gonna figure him out or if he's gonna become the hero of Toronto.
He could be.
Really excited to see how this plays out. Stoked for Thursday's game. I think that's when game 6 is.
Yeah.
God, dude, Toronto is going to be bumping for that game. Mm-hmm. I wonder how much tickets are. They're probably ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, they're probably ridiculous. Game. I think what happened last year, when did Bobrovsky come in last year for the Panthers playing? Because I know he didn't start the first game. I think he played maybe the second game and then didn't play the third game. And then game 4, the Panthers won. Or no, game 5, the Panthers won. He came in net and he got hot. So, if Wall can do the same thing, give the Leafs this jump, you're going back to Toronto. Like these 3-1 leads are kind of tough because if 3-1 game 5's at your home team, you're at home, game 5. If you lose that game, you're going back to enemy territory, and they are electrified because they just won that game 5 down 3-1. Then you got to get over that hump. If you don't win that game, you go back to your own fans, game 7, and you've got a team that just won 2 games in a row against you and have all the momentum in the world. So those 3-1 leads are they're kind of tough for the home team. Unless you have to close out in game 5 or else it gets tricky. Obviously, now for each team, every game is a must win. It's a playoffs, but I think this series is going to, I don't know. I also have a hard time putting faith in Toronto. So
yeah, me too. I mean, I'm kind of on the train. I know you said it might not be the end, but I'm kind of still on the train. If Toronto has another first round exit, I think some players might be getting traded. But
if they have a first round exit, blow it up.
Yeah. I think some players could get traded, but especially Mitch Marner because he's coming up on his contract here. But who knows? These are all speculation. I'm feeling a strong sense that we're going to see some Brad Marchand shenanigans in this game 6, and that could really fuck with the Leafs' head. So we'll see if that happens.
I mean, he was kind of a pest tonight too. He got pushed. He drew a penalty, like a stupid penalty. So I don't know. We'll see. This comes out Thursday, so tonight we'll see how this game turns out. We'll probably be doing a live show just with Settle Down Live, so we can hopefully react to it there. But yeah, these playoff games have been really good. Some of these 3-1 series, which we'll get into next, we'll see. Nothing's finished yet for us.
Now we get to get into the West.
Yeah, let's get into the West. Colorado, Winnipeg. Do we have a score check as of right now?
3-2 going into the third Avalanche. Okay. So 3-2 please Winnipeg, please fucking do something.
I think what do you think Winnipeg's done wrong this series to be how do they fall down to this 3-1 lead?
I feel like they started strong, and I feel like I don't know if Georgiev had to have like a warm-up game or what really that was all about. I mean, that first game, 13-goal game between the two teams was fucking insane.
Yeah.
But then after that, they just cooled down offensively. Like I feel like they they need to score more, which obviously 3-2 going into the third. Hopefully they can pull together and score some more goals for this game or they're
Yeah.
toast. But I mean, I just feel like some of their best players, like Kyle Connor, has only had 4 points. But then you like compare those, which that's a point per game. It's not the worst thing in the world. But then you compare that to players on the Avalanche. Their best players are scoring 2 points per game. I mean, we got McKinnon with 7 points, McCarr with 8 points. I think the Avs are just outplaying the Jets. I don't think the Jets have a bad team, but like one, I think their best players aren't playing up to notch. But then their depth players like Monahan, like Toffoli are just they're not really adding in, which I love those two players. They're former Flames, so they got a especially Monahan. Fucking love Monahan. But yeah, man, I just feel like with Winnipeg, they need to figure out that scoring because they've been very low on goals in the past 2 games. So if they can get past tonight some way, somehow, please Winnipeg do it because I have you guys winning the cup.
Yeah.
I think maybe they have a chance. It's going to be a hard game 6 in Colorado though because Colorado has dominated at home. So
yeah, if they even get to that point,
man.
because I don't know, Avalanche
Gorgiev's been playing dominant. Good too. So
yeah, but I mean, legit. Like I mean, Colorado have won 3 games in a row now. So they lost game 1. If they win tonight, that's basically a sweep with a little tease in the beginning of the series. But yeah, it's hard to really make too much speculation. We don't know how this series is going to go yet. But I think Colorado's made it tough for Winnipeg. I don't think Hellebuyck has really played that well to where like there was a tweet that the Avalanche put out and it was like Winnipeg were celebrating Connor Hellebuyck on his regular season stats. And then they showed Colorado tweeted back at Hellebuyck's playoff stats. And it was like, 1-3 save percentage was like 0.8 something. So, he hasn't been playing well. And very shady. But I think Georgiev, I don't know, because who are they going to play next? They're going to play, they'll play Stars in Vegas, which I don't know. I don't know if either of those teams.
I think if Hellebuyck can get hot, I feel like he would have a better chance against the Stars or Knights, but they're going to have to pick their shit up and figure something out because they're looking like they are about to lose a series, and that hurts my heart because I thought it was their year. But not only that, I think Colorado just has to keep on being Colorado, and they're going to beat them. Like, if they keep playing their game and they don't get things screwed up some way, somehow by the Jets, like, this is going to be an easy dub for them. But, I'm rooting for Winnipeg, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm rooting for the Avalanche. I have them in my bracket, but we'll see how that goes. Definitely next episode we'll hopefully have some more of these series wrapped up. We can do a little bit more of a preview. But next series, Vancouver, Nashville, which will also be playing today or tonight. Winnipeg's actually tied the games 3-3, Colorado and Winnipeg.
Let's go.
Beginning of the third, still a lot of game left. So
we got to keep talking about Winnipeg.
Just the whole 20 minutes of the playoff. Yeah. Nashville, Vancouver, as we're speaking, end of both periods or 2 periods, 0-0 still. But honestly, this series, I feel so bad for Nashville. Vancouver, I don't really like you guys, but I don't know how they're able to do this with a backup goalie, Thatcher Demko, who played pretty good regular season, then have their backup goalie come in, then have their third string goalie come in, who's a rookie, and he just basically ruins Nashville's dreams of continuing into the playoffs. Because Nashville, I feel like they've been buzzing pretty well, but Vancouver's just been better.
Yeah, Vancouver's just been showing, one, their depth, I feel like Elias Lindholm has been playing very good lately.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, JT Miller, Quinn. I mean, everyone is just kind of clicking on their team right now. And I feel like it just shows Nashville's not as strong as people may have thought. I mean, at least compared to a team of Vancouver's caliber. But yeah, man, I mean, I think it's a pretty cool story that these backup and third string goalies are able to keep this series moving along, especially Arturs Silovs. I feel like I'm butchering that name, but 23-year-old Latvian goalie, and this is a scoreless game. I mean, he's knock on wood. I might jinx it right here, but he's shutting out the Predators right now so far.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see if they can close out the series tonight. I have money on them that they're gonna close out the series. I actually have money on their puck line, so hopefully they can score an empty netter in there too. But yeah, man, I think Canucks got this in a bag. I feel like they kind of had a fluke with that. I think that game went to overtime. I want to say where the
they
Predators,
lost.
Yeah. So I feel like that was kind of a fluky game that could have gone the Canucks' way. But yeah, man, I see the Canucks closing this out. If they don't close it out in 5, though, like you said, this could be something pretty hard for Vancouver. Because I mean, going back to Smashville for Game 6, they're going to be bringing the heat, the energy.
Yeah, this one. I mean, yes, if they do win, but I feel like Vancouver's just been closing out. Like I know that comeback that they had. They've just been able to close out and win those clutch games where, I mean, I think it'll still be very tough if they don't win this game and have to go back to Nashville, play in front of that crowd. But they came back in Nashville in that game. So nothing's off the table yet. We'll see how that game goes. We'll keep a close eye. But do you have any last thoughts on that or just Vancouver in general, or can we move on?
I think we can move on, but I mean, I think something funny I saw was, how Nashville always smashes cars outside the arena before playoff games. That doesn't scare Vancouver. Vancouver's used to burning and setting cars on fire and destroying things. So that doesn't phase the Canucks. I think that's the one team in the league that doesn't phase. So
no, they give zero shits about that. No, that's funny.
Yeah, we can move on. I just wanted to comment on that.
No, they're definitely they were like, oh, you guys only smash a car. We literally set it on fire for if we lose. But Edmonton and LA, the next one, another 3-1 series. Edmonton game 5 is in Edmonton on Wednesday. So yesterday when you're listening to this. Edmonton, this series again, I haven't really watched. It's been on really late and I don't know, I've seen some stuff, people complaining, especially on like a Sunday where you can have early starts. No one's at work. These games all start at 8:30 our time, which on the East Coast it's 10:30. That's well past anyone's bedtime. Well, not anyone's bedtime, but you know what I mean. It's a late game, doesn't get done till like 1 a.m. But besides that, I haven't really watched a whole lot of it. I don't really care for the Oilers or the Kings to win this series. I hope they get knocked out next round. But
same.
I mean, Skinner surprisingly has been doing pretty well. Which I'm shocked. Not like he was playing bad in the regular season, but not like playoff level where he can keep this team within 3-1.
I feel like we're like some haters of Stuart Skinner. I feel like we got to give him a little bit of props. He's had a great series so far. He had his first shutout in the playoffs. So, I think Edmonton should close the series out too. They're playing in Edmonton tonight when this comes out on Wednesday. They should close it out, in my opinion. It'd be kind of weird if somehow LA comes back on this series. I don't see it at all. No. But yeah, man, Stuart Skinner, shout out for him doing something, actually. I know I'm an Oilers hater too. I've always been an Oilers hater. I mean, obviously, if you're watching this on something, you can see my hat. I'm obviously a Flames fan, but yeah, man, I feel like for the Kings to even have a chance, they're getting absolutely new offense, so they need to pick it up on the offensive side. David Riddick's playing really good. I think they're going to continue to play Riddick in net. But yeah, man, I'd be shocked if LA comes back.
I would too. Like the only team, I mean, I guess it's already done it, that I could really see coming back, maybe Winnipeg, and Toronto's already started the comeback process. Those two teams, I mean, sadly, I think it's over for Nashville, and I think it's over for LA. That's not biased at all because I'm a Sharks fan and I would never wish anything wrong with the LA Kings. But I mean, McDavid and Draisaitl both playing lights out. 10 points for McDavid, 8 points for Draisaitl, which is what they need. I mean, if they weren't doing that like they did against the Knights last year, they'd be done for. But, Edmonton, we'll see this next round. They're going to play Vancouver or probably Vancouver. We'll see how that series goes. I don't know what their season series was like. I do know the first game of the season that they played against each other, Vancouver won like 10-1. But that was with the last Jay Woodcroft, which I've heard reports that San Jose is looking to hire him as a head coach. I'm like, why the hell would you want to sign this guy as head coach who just tanked you have the best player in the world on your team and you get fired because you suck? Why the hell would the Sharks want that unless they want to keep tanking, which I'm all for, but anyways, I digress. But yeah, I think in this series, Edmonton being up 3-1, it looks like it's the end for the Kings, but we'll see.
Yeah.
When this comes out, we could be biting our words and be talking about them next episode. We don't know.
I would be surprised though.
Yeah, I would too. But next series, I really have enjoyed this series. This has been a fun series to watch. Vegas and Dallas, no one has won a home game in this series. Both teams have won away, which is crazy and impressive. And if that continues, and Vegas is winning in 7 in Dallas, but we'll see how that goes.
Please no.
I don't want it. But I mean, we've kind of said this from the beginning. I feel like that we know this is going to be a close series. I think it's still going to go to 7, maybe 6 if a team can get out ahead. But yeah, I think it's going to go to 7. I mean, it's really the only option left, I guess, is 6 and 7. But yeah, I mean, Dallas, I think, has been playing really well in the last 2 games. I feel like they were kind of not flat-footed, but I feel like maybe they were a little bit suffocated by the Knights because how good the Knights are, and kind of just came out hot in those first 2 games. And Dallas was like, all right, we need to get this together. Yeah, because they've been playing really well.
Yeah, 100%. And I feel like the past 2 wins by Dallas while they're in Vegas that showed, like, I just feel like who Dallas is as a team. I feel like those first 2 games is like, oh shit, Vegas isn't some pushover. They're for real. They're not. I do not consider, like, it's crazy to think the comparison from Vegas to the Capitals. Like, those are 2 wild card second spots.
Yeah,
it is insane. I mean, Vegas could be a top seed in the playoffs if they had a better regular season, just according to their roster. And yeah, man, I just feel like Dallas has had some really good wins. They're carrying momentum back into Dallas. Wow, I really hope that Dallas takes this, but I'm with you all the way on this. This is going to go to 7, I think.
Yeah.
But we will see. I think this is the best series so far, too, in the playoffs. I think you could maybe make an argument Leafs and Bruins is, but
we'll see if that goes to game
series.
7.
Yeah. This is the only series that has been tied 2-2.
Yeah, this is the only. This is the only close series.
That's like something I feel like a lot of people did not predict either. That these series were just going to fly by like this. But yeah, man, I think Vegas does need help with their scoring if they want success in the next few games.
Which they have plenty of it.
Yeah,
you just need one of them to wake up.
Yeah, Eichel, Marchessault, and McNabb, Brayden McNabb, out of all people. They come for 7 out of the 11 goals that Vegas has scored. So those players that have got traded at the deadline, they need to start producing.
Yeah. No, that is true. And I think, Eichel and Marchessault led the team last year in points. So
yeah,
it makes sense that they're still up there. But yeah, Brayden McNabb, you need to get, I guess Mark Stone already has a goal, but Yeah. This series is going to be close. We'll keep an eye on it. Hopefully, maybe we can get a little live reaction for Game 7 if it does go to that. And yeah, I think before we do wrap up, just looking back just at the playoffs, taking a second to breathe and be present in the moment. Rangers sweep, could have called that. Panthers in 5, crazy. I didn't really think that was going to happen. I thought it was going to be a little more back and forth.
Yeah, definitely.
Isles could have called that. Boston being up 3-1 before tonight, now being up 3-2. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Colorado being up 3-1, did not call that.
And they're Vancouver, up 5-3 right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And wait, what?
Yeah, the Avs are winning 5-3.
Oh no. That's not good. 10 minutes left, 5-3 Colorado Winnipeg. Uh-oh. Well, you guys know the end of this story for us, so you can just kind of watch and listen to hear our reactions to this because you guys know how it went. But
yeah, my bracket. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, game's not over yet. I'm a big fan of live betting the underdog because the game is truly never over in NHL playoffs. You never know what could happen. The odds are not in the Jets' favor, but who knows? Anything could happen. But yeah, with that being said, overall solid first round. I feel like it's last year's first round was really fun to watch. It's not over yet. Again, could be saying it way too prematurely. All these games could go to Game 7. We don't even know. All these 3-1 leads. We don't know what the future holds, but yeah, I think this series first round has been decent. Nothing crazy yet. We'll see how it goes next episode though. But do you have any last words before we kick it out of here?
Yeah, I know both Sean and I's teams are out of the playoffs, and I guess 6 days from now we will be doing a live stream. We're gonna be pumping it on all of our social media channels and whatnot. So we're gonna have a kick-ass live stream watch party.
Yes.
So hope you guys can join. Maybe we'll do a little maybe we could figure out a little way to give back to you guys somehow. I don't know what that is. Maybe I'll buy you I don't know, maybe some alcohol or something.
Depends. If the Sharks get Celebrini, I'll do whatever. But if the Sharks don't get Celebrini, you guys ain't getting shit. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be next Tuesday, May 7th. Probably 7:00 Eastern, if I had to guess, like 5. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But we'll keep it updated. Yeah, we'll blast it on the social media. So if you're not following us there, guess what? Go follow us. It's right there. Good Old Hockey Podcast. Go right there. Follow us on Instagram. Get all the updates there. See all the clips, all that fun stuff in case you miss any of the episodes.
Give us shit too. If you don't like our takes, let us know.
Yeah. Pipe down let us know in the comments. Tell us how you did what you think of what we think. But ultimately, guess what? I'm a free red-blooded American. I can think whatever the fuck I want. So if you guys disagree with me, guess what? I don't give a fuck because I disagree with you too. So boom. But with that being said, yeah, it's hard to say right now. It's so tough. All these series at 3-1, we don't know what's going to happen. We already saw Toronto. I hope they can push it to Game 7. If they lose in Game 7, I feel like it'll be kind of fun to watch. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Live streams also in the future. Make sure you're on the Instagram because that's where you'll find out. Because a lot of times we're not gonna know unless this game goes to Game 6 or 7, where it's a close game. Good timing on our part that we can watch it. But yeah, next one definitely May 7th for that draft lottery. Oh my God, I am praying to everything I believe in that the Sharks can get Celebrini.
I hope the Flames get like a top 5 pick at least. I'd be happy with that. But
some movement, yeah. I don't know sort of movement. Is that how that works?
I think the top 10.
There's movement.
Yeah.
I thought it was only top 3.
No, the Flames they have a 5% chance of taking that first spot. So that would be awesome if Celebrini is a Flame.
Dude, you bet. Yeah. We should put some money on it because of the odds for Calgary. Yeah.
Anyways, if Celebrini becomes a Flame, I will buy a jersey
Yeah.
of
No, I will too.
Celebrini.
Well, not
whenever he gets his number or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know what number he is. But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Sorry for the weird schedule. We've had a crazy week on our part. But we'll be back to you guys next Wednesday. We'll be filming on Monday. Then we'll have the live stream on Tuesday from the draft lottery. And then Wednesday, we'll have an episode for you guys. So be sure to subscribe, like, all that fun stuff, and we'll see you guys next time.